Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is going to be episode 1 of our Federal Spring of 62 campaign in version 1.11 using the A.O.M mod. So first things first, I have not changed the game at all. I have not updated the A.O.M mod. I have left all the previously created avatars in place, as the game was working fine for the last playthrough with no bugs that I saw whatsoever, so I decided not to screw with it. So I'm still using the previous version of A.O.M. And this campaign is only going to run up until the date that the Whiskey and Lemons DLC drops. Because I'm just planning on this being a filler campaign, as that's supposed to be out in the next 2 months. It'll probably take that long to run this campaign at 4 episodes a week. So there's no official date on DLC yet, but it could be any time between now and the end of August. So we may get to the end of this campaign, we may not. So, but once again, a disclaimer, A.O.M is not set up for anything past the 61 start date. So if you're going to use the A.O.M mod past this, that is at your own discretion. I'm not sure about the updated A.O.M that is out right now, but the version I'm using, it's at your own risk. Alright, so we know this campaign is going to be a little easier for us as a 6-2 start the Federals. I'm taking away the beginning policies from there. I'm going to leave Kansas to the Rebellion. Definitely going to take industrialization, Indian Wars, and breadbasket seems like a good idea too, so we'll keep those 3 running. So I have order delays on, fog of war, readiness system. Turn off auto manage also, and I'm leaving feuds off because once again, as I stated in the previous campaign, feuds don't add or take away from the game, in my opinion. It's more of an annoyance for you and a major drag on the AI when they have a feuding unit. So I'm just leaving that off once again. Let's get this started. So like I said, this is only going to run as long as Whiskey and Lemons until that day it drops. So hopefully we'll get to the end of this. Hopefully we might. My last campaign with the Federals ran, I think, 25 episodes. This might be shorter, but we'll discuss strategy once we get to that. But, just hang on here a second and we'll get the start video rolling up as soon as it loads in.
This step, secession, once taken, can never be recalled. We and our posterity shall see our lovely South desolated by the demon of war. Alexander Stephens, Vice President of the Confederate States of America. Chapter 2, The Demon of War. The election of Abraham Lincoln, an anti-slavery Republican, as the 16th President of the United States was the last straw, triggering secession. One by one, Southern slave states declared secession from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America, led by President Jefferson Davis. This secession ignited the inevitable escalation, with fruitless efforts to still find a political compromise falling on deaf ears. Advocates of armed insurrection and fire eaters roam the states with steel in their eyes, and the public is aroused to volunteer, to fill the ranks, to quell the rebellion, and to preserve the Union or to secure independence from it. Following open hostilities, President Lincoln's militia call for 75,000 volunteers for 3 months' service, sparks incredulous protest and loud outcry among the southern states. And these sparks set on fire the irreversible. More states secede. Now it's war. 75,000, 100,000, and even more. Soon, the largest armies seen on American soil muster, drill, and prepare for war. A war that is to be neat, short, and limited. The whole matter would be settled by Christmas. But a dark shadow would loom over the growing and inexperienced armies. Without a swift and decisive blow from the very offset of the war, there's every chance of a long, confused, and disorganizing civil war, and even foreign powers may feel a desire to take a hand therein. The time is ticking for the newborn Confederacy. The Union must act. The demon of war has awakened.
Alright, I always do like those videos. I don't know about anybody else, but I do enjoy them, no matter how many times I see them. Alright, so, just campaign-wise, we'll go over it real fast here. So, we're starting in Spring 62. McClellan's army is on the peninsula. And this is actually going to be the main focus for my campaign, is driving the Army of Potomac up the peninsula. But as you can see, we start out pretty low readiness over here, so it's going to be a while before we get them on the move. And basically hold defensively everywhere else. I'll pull all of my troops back. I'm going to cede West Virginia to the rebellion. I thought I'd turn off Kentucky as a free state. Alright, we'll figure that one out. Maybe we'll pull out of Kentucky too and cede that to them. Give the AI a more of a fighting chance this time around. So, that's it for this campaign. Like I said, this is going to be the main thrust right here. So, I'm going to pause this here now, and I'm going to go start plugging in the viewer units, and I will be back with those. Alrighty, after about an hour plus of work, I have got the viewer units in, and I have reformatted the OOBs for all the armies, because they were kind of a mess and made almost no sense, so it took a lot longer than I thought it would. But we're going to go through the viewer units now. Not all of them are in trade-off. Some of them are actually existing units that I did rename because there was just no soldiers available. If coming to policies, we already have Militia Act 3 and 4 done. So, all the troops that are available right now are in the field. So, some units are already in armies. So, we'll go through them as we come to them. So, first unit up is actually the Buckeyes for Brian Garant, and they are actually over here in 5th Corps. There they are. They are the 3rd Brigade of the 2nd Division of 5th Corps, under command of Erasmus Tyler. Next up, we have to go back to Tradoc. And that is for the Black Watch. Why are they out of order? Did I miss a brigade? Nope, they're down there for some reason. So next up is the Hannibal Brigade for Randall Odell, under command of Samuel Clemens. So off the bat, all the avatars I created, I promoted to Brigadier General as soon as the game started, so their stats are a little wonky. So some viewers requested specific stats, and you're just not getting those stats, as they got a little wonky once I put them into the game. Next up is the Black Watch for Sasha 642 out of Massachusetts, under command of Randall McKenzie. Next up is the Pennywise Brigade for Worms and Warriors, under command of Nathaniel Jackson. Next up is the Bloody First, which is in the 1st Corps of the Army of the Potomac. under command of Michael Rains. After that, we have the Texas Loyalists under Jesse Alonzo for Mr. Oates. After that, we have the Egyptian Brigade for Strange Man. They're under command of Charles Stone. You requested Sharp's rifles for this brigade. They are just not available right now. Even after taking them away from Berdan's boys, there just weren't enough to outfit the brigade. I'm about 1,500 short. So as soon as I have the project available, I will start building them, and you will be the first unit to receive those. Next up is the 1st Pennsylvania Cavalry Raiders for Inspired J under command of Irvin Gregg. And after them are the 4th Pennsylvania Steel City Cavalry under Samuel Sturgis for Eric Boss. Next up is the Sin City Raiders under Robert Mitchell for that's Jeremy Steed. After that is the Band of Merry Boys from Maryland under James Cooper, and that is for Just Your Average Gamer. After that, we have the 1st Maryland Cavalry Raiders for JPS 476 under the command of James Wilson. And finally, we have the Iowa Sod Busters. So there was no troops available from Iowa, so I had to go through all the armies to find a battery from Iowa. Where's the Army of the Southwest? Oh, it was the first one on the list. So they are the 1st battery of the artillery division for the Army of the Southwest. I'm going to end up transferring them into, because they are armed with 12-pounder Napoleons, as you requested, smooth bores. So, actually, we're going to move them there and bring the Sod Busters into the 1st Division there, so they're on the line. I do believe that covers all of the Fury units. So, I did make a lot of changes here. The biggest one is I took McClellan out of command of the Army of Potomac, and I immediately replaced him with Grant. And I placed McClellan in charge of TRADOC because leadership and administration-wise, he's the best officer to command a training force. So we'll just go through all these real fast. Some of these things were a mess. I've actually disbanded some armies, consolidated forces around just because this was an absolute mess. So we do have the Army of the Southwest, which is under command of Samuel Curtis. We have the Department of the Mississippi under Halleck, which has Army of the Mississippi, Army of the Tennessee, Army of the Ohio, and Morgan's command underneath him. Next up is the Coast Division with 2 divisions. This division right here was the Army of the Gulf. I completely stripped it out of the Gulf region and transferred it to the Coast Division. Next up is the Army of Potomac under command of Grant with the 1st Corps under McDowell, 2nd Corps under Sumner, 3rd Corps under Heintzelman, and 4th Corps under Erasmus Keyes. 5th Corps is detached right now under command of Banks, as it was historically. I thought it was, that was the Department of Washington and the Department of Virginia I disbanded. Army of the Gulf still exists. So I probably will plus up this force. So Army of the Gulf under the Beast Butler. And I think I might have him do some raiding down that way just to increase the Beast name. We have the Mountain Department under Fremont and the Middle Department under Dix. I'm probably going to end up combining those 2 departments and the Kanawha Division under Cox Jr. So those last 3 are probably going to end up getting combined into one force to operate over here on the Ohio-West Virginia border. But as I said, I'm giving up West Virginia. I'm pulling out, though. I think as soon as I hit play, it is going to flip to us. So I may not have a choice. So I want to give the AI as much of an advantage as I can give it, as I'm pulling out of Kentucky, pulling out of West Virginia, so I kind of want them to hold these regions and have to fight over them to help extend the campaign just a little bit longer. Alright, we'll go over strategy screen real fast. So we're starting out with 85 national morale to the Rebels 90, 80 national support to their 91. The morale of our army is down to 86 to their 98. We have 256,292 men in the field to their 136,924. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could probably just steamroll them off the bat. But we got to get the Armed Potomac's readiness up first before we can do anything like that. And total casualties so far, we're sitting at 6,100 to their 6,300, as they have fought the 61 campaign season already. I'm not going to go through weapons. Finances. So we're at negative 97 million right now. This is going to get even deeper. As, yeah, it was already showing negative 6.9 million. As soon as I hit play, this is going to get a lot worse. And policies. As I said, Mush Act 4 is already done. I can immediately start on emancipation if I want at 125 days, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to take some from, I noticed during the last campaign, is I'm going straight for the revenue acts so that I can build banks, because those were extremely powerful in my Confederate campaign. Once I started building banks, money was no longer an issue at all. So as soon as I get the banks done, I will be going into Enrollment Act, or the draft, if it is open to grab. So I think I do have to wait for a specific start date with the A.O.M mod. And after that, I'll probably do Emancipation. Now, projects-wise, it's March 21st. I'm not going to take anything right now, so it doesn't even look like I can afford to take any right now. Oh, there we go. Could afford a few, but I'm going to bank up my military money for the Sharps Rifle project, as one reviewer does want them, so those take a long time to build, so I'm going to save up my money for that first. And I won't touch anything else until we pass over to March 21st. Finance-wise, politics, we're going to max that out. Economy, we're going to leave there. Agriculture, we're going to max that out. Max out industry. That's why I have no troops to recruit. Military funding is next to nothing, so we're going to max that out. And diplomacy, we'll leave that where it is, because I'm not really going to mess with diplomacy. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to drain diplomacy to 0. Because I don't care about British intervention. They're not going to come in. Alright, that should cover everything for right now, so I'm going to hit play on this bad boy and see where our first action comes on that. Alright, it's now March 28th, and we do have our first engagement. I had ordered, should have covered it, but I had ordered 5th Corps to pull back to Winchester, a few units to move around. As I said, pulling them back out of the States. But even though it's March and there's snow on the ground, Joe Johnson thought it would be a good idea to be moving the Army in Northern Virginia around, and has decided to attack my 1st Corps, which is away from the Armed Potomac up here outside of Washington. So I have 23,109 infantry, 996 cavalry, and 114 guns under command of Irvin McDowell. Old Joe here is bringing 36,531 infantry, 1,800 cavalry, and 123 guns. So we're fairly... He's slightly stronger than me, but not that much. So, my readiness is in the yellow, but my morale is good. So we're definitely taking this fight. I will see you all on the other side of the load screen. Welcome everybody to the Battle of Alexandria. So we're on the Bull Run map, and we are on the defensive. We actually got a good chunk of the map to deploy on here. Good half of it actually. And doing my map recon, the rebels are only coming in from one point, and that's along the Warrenton Pike here, which actually is what I would like to see. As generally on this map, when I have this fighting direction, I like to set my defense from Henry Hill up to Matthews Hill, using the heights over here instead of fighting behind the river. And we can deploy far enough up where I can grab these heights easily enough. So we're going to be doing that. Right, long range, single line. And the rebels are right there. They are all right there. So that is, we're not going to be able to do that, are we? Alright, let's do this a little different now. 1st Division, which actually has the Bloody First and my grunts in it. Both New York brigades. Put them right here, maybe? I don't want any of you guys on that fence looking the wrong way. There we go. I don't know if it's really too well armed, but the rebels are not going to be well armed either. And we're going to be defending the heights, which is going to give us an advantage. I'm not going to be able to build defensive works as we do not have the engineering points for that. Got decent siding right there. And they're spread all the way down. Actually, 3rd Division, I'm going to put you reserve. Except for your guns, which are going up on the line to anchor this end of it. Engineer Brigade will leave you here at Lewis Ford. Cavalry Brigade will leave you over here at Balls Ford. Yeah, having my back to the river is not the best position to be in, but this is all high ground that they have to attack up, so that's really good for us. Artillery Division, what can I do with you guys? You got a decent field of fire there, put you on counter battery. Infantry's not blocking you, so put you on counter battery. Same with you. And where to put these guns? You guys in right there? Yes, I can. But you want to count a battery? It says they have good fields of fire now, but watch, I hit play and they're going to lose their fields of fire. And you also get right there on counter battery. Let's hit play and see what happens. And all my guns are firing. Wow. And first shots out of the infantry are from up here. From the 1st Brigade as they're rifle armed. So unless they start pushing this mass forward immediately, we should be able to hold pretty well. We got a lot of orders going out right now. You guys start building some breastworks. Just because I don't have them doing anything else right now. Bloody First should be getting some shots in here. Massed batteries and massed rifles. This is not a position they want to attack, but they are. Actually, I wonder if I should march 3rd Division out and around this way to sweep in. I don't know if all their forces are on the field. I didn't check that. Everybody but the Center Corps is on the field. Was that cavalry and infantry? Some of their batteries getting ready to break. You guys going to keep pushing at this corner, or are you going to push your whole line forward? They just sit there and take the artillery abuse. It ain't going to last long. There was that battery. Seems to be where all the action is right now, so we'll sit over here for a minute. Ooh, look at those canister shots go out. And it looks like they're advancing in the short range. They're not going to make it. Going up that hill is not good for them. Cavalry's coming in mounted, which is never a good idea. What's with the... Oh, alright. That was unit behind. There's that brigade. We're already turning this into a minor victory. Looks like I might have this battle over in less than an hour. Wow. Shows you the power of massed guns. Alright, they're coming up the center now, heading towards 1st Brigade of 2nd Division. Turn your face into support. Turn your guns and look that way, boys. Ooh, 1st Division already getting ready to break. Let's advance you boys down to the fence line over here. There's one 1st Division battery. They were taking massed fire from the rebel guns, so it's kind of be expected. Alright, grunts, turning fire, turning fire. Advance to defense right there. Bring up a reserve brigade to cover that hole. Alright, bloody 1st, earn that name of yours. Now they're coming down on my left flank. Another battery break. Turn and face, get that canister firing. Bloody 1st is in hand to hand. Alright, Kearney, get you boys in there and support them. Never mind, they broke. Go rally the bloody 1st. And they just broke. Oh well. You boys back. Where's my? You boys back on long range up. Can't give those orders yet. There we go. Put you on that fence line. And that's it. They should be withdrawing. I just noticed the morale bar is all the way in our favor. This battery broke now too, huh? There's a retreat. Let's see if we can plus up these numbers a little bit. Shoot them. You guys come down and shoot them. Everybody advance. Everybody gets some. You guys are already retreating. Let's see if we can charge into them and bag some boys. And it's going to be too late to bring the cav over. That battery. Stay on them. Don't let them go away. Chase down that battery. You're not going to catch it though. And everybody moves. And Longstreet just... Oh, Longstreet just arrived. Though, they're already in retreat, so... Doesn't matter. Last minute, doubt we're going to get any more kills in here. Get a volley off on that battery before we lose the clock. There's that battery. And that's it. Yeah, nice short little fight there. And the numbers speak for themselves. Masked guns on the hillside are pretty goddamn deadly. No, big loss on my guns. Wow. So we took down 2,700 of his 39,000 infantry, 350 of his 2,000 cavalry. We got 55 of his 150 guns. For a total loss of 3,200 of his 43,000 men. It's actually a lot more than I initially thought we were going to be seeing. I lost 434 of my 23,000 infantry, none of my cavalry, 47 of my 111 guns. We'll get most of those back as those batteries broke, so they will reclaim those guns. For a total loss of 589 of our 25,746 men. Let's save this real fast and go over to paperwork. Right. Cavalry Brigade didn't fight. Engineer Brigade didn't fight. 1st Division. Only the artillery did anything. They got 21 infantry, 12 artillery for total 33. 3rd Division. Oh, what? That was 3rd Division. Give me 1st Division. There we go. The Bloody 1st did 464 to infantry, captured 20, 81 to cavalry for a total of 565. Good numbers for their first battle. My grunts did 87 to infantry, 8 to cavalry for a total of 95. 1st Brigade did 164 to infantry, 152 to cavalry for a total of 316. And 1st Division Artillery, before they broke, did 82 to infantry, 34 to cavalry, 7 to artillery for a total of 129. Division total 1,105. 2nd Division. 3rd Brigade did 146 to infantry. 1st Brigade did 266 to infantry, 49 to artillery for a total of 315. 2nd Brigade did 191 to infantry. And 2nd Division Artillery did 260 to infantry, 21 to artillery for a total of 281. Division total 933. And the Artillery Division, 5th U.S. Battalion did 82 to infantry, 23 to artillery for a total of 108. 1st U.S. did 185 to infantry, 22 to cav, 21 to artillery for a total of 228. 3rd U.S. did 291 to infantry, 2 to cav, 12 to artillery for a total of 306. 1st New York Artillery did 138 to infantry, 8 to cav, 28 to arty, for a total of 175. And the 2nd U.S. did 118 to infantry, 5 to cavalry, 41 to artillery for a total of 166. Division total 983. Let's see if we got any of their officers. Doubtful. I didn't really see any plussed up numbers there. Oh, we wounded Major General Pendleton. Longstreet's corps arrived at the last minute. Stewart, nope. Smith. Nope. Oh, we got one corps commander. And that's Pendleton, so it's not a big loss to them. Let's close out of here. Alrighty, like I said, sharp little fight there. I was hoping not to keep this episode too long, so that worked out in our favor. Yes, it was a little gamey setting up on that hillside right in front of each other, but I really didn't want to defend behind the river either. So I think that would have been more of a problem for the AI than that attack right there. So they actually were doing some damage to us. But defending on the other side of the river, that would have been a different story altogether. I think the numbers would have been even worse for the rebels. But let me know what you thought in the comments below. Victory at Alexandria. With the Army of Virginia withdrawing, the enemies reportedly suffered total casualties of 3,234 men. There are 973 killed and 717 captured. For amount of men on the field, not very high numbers, but still early in the war. Our casualties total 589 men, with 130 killed, 71 missing, and the rest are wounded. We've captured 1,277 rifles and 18 guns from the battlefield, sent 675 soldiers down to our prison camps. Looks like Pettigrew lost face. I think it should have been Joe Johnston on that one, but it is what it is. All right, we'll get this one rolled off, and I'm going to keep this game going to April 1st so I can open up the next episode with a better look at what our economy looks like than at the beginning of the game. So I'll be back. So I didn't catch this. We did have a naval engagement going on in the Mississippi River while that battle was happening. So the Mississippi River Squadron has been attacked by the Mississippi River Squadron, and we've disabled the CSS Ivy and sunk the CSS Livingston. It looks like these two was drawn with the Pontchartrain still in action, and we have lost the Lexington, which looks like a wooden gunboat. Don't tell me what it is it? I think that's a wooden, yeah, it's a wood-clad timber-clad boat. It looks like it's it for the fight. These two withdrawing, so we sank two, the Livingston, the Pontchartrain, and captured the Ivy. Well, that power slider just moved way too heavily in our favor after that. Is this engagement still going on? Should be over. These two withdrawing. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, but like I said, I am withdrawing my forces. I do have to cover that. I am withdrawing my forces out of Southern Territory, except for the Peninsula forces, and actually in the City Army Tennessee down here. They can't move right now. They're in the red. So I have the Army of Ohio pulling all the way back up into Indiana. Morgan's command is pulling back into Ohio. I pulled back the Kanawha Division and Mountain Department into Ohio, and I'm actually going to combine these two corps together. And I actually did end up shutting down the Middle Department and transferring it into 5th Corps, which only had 2 divisions. Middle Department's only 1 division, so I gave them all the 5th Corps. And we're just waiting on the Army of Potomac to get up to green readiness before I do anything. So I'm building them a supply depot right now. It's just going to be probably about 30 days before anybody's ready to go. Which works for me because I didn't want to start marching while the weather's still cold. This is 78 days for Heinzman. That doesn't make sense. Put all these guys on scouting. That'll help. Like I said, we're going to run this to April 1st, so I'll be back. Alright, so it's April 1st, so we're going to end this episode here so I can open up the next one with the April monthlies. So if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so the next video comes out. If you'd like a brigade in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, state it's from, weapons, uniforms, officers, and I'll oblige on all counts if possible. And once again, as always, comments. Please keep them coming. I do love engaging with everybody. And I'll see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.